"Don't blow the soil," he said angrily. At that time, the ride of the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, was passing near him. He was sitting on the side of the road with his companions, when the dust flew from the feet of the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, and hit him. He was burnt. There is a place, the dust of his ride is more than musk and amber. There were a few companions with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. They reprimanded him for his rudeness. A companion said, "By Allah, the smell of the Prophet's donkey is 1,000 times better than the smell of your body." This person who misbehaved with the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, was Abdullah bin Abi. That person was originally the leader of the Jews of Medina. Besides, he was also related to the Ansar. He enjoyed equal respect in both the tribes of Ansar, Aws, and Khazraj. Before Islam, Aws and Khazraj had been enmity for generations. Both tribes got tired of fighting for a long time, so they started peace talks and decided to kill Abdullah bin Abi Yathrib together. Except the king of Medina, so that they are united permanently under one ruler and there is no possibility of any coincidence for the future. But before Aws and Khazraj placed the crown of kingship on the head of Abdullah bin Abi, the season of Hajj arrived and many people from Medina went to Mecca on Hajj, where they met the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace. Then the Prophet, peace be upon him, invited him to Islam, which he accepted. When these people returned, they started the work of inviting Islam to their families and neighborhoods, and Islam spread to more families in Medina. Everyone forgot the matter of Abdullah bin Abi's kingdom because now they had found an unparalleled guide and leader like the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace. On the other hand, Abdullah bin Abi, who was not bursting with joy after seeing the dreams of his kingship some time ago, was greatly upset over this unexpected situation. He converted the Ansar to Islam. Tried hard to stop him, but no one paid attention to his words. On the other hand, a large number of emigrants came to Medina under the order of the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace. There was joy in all of Medina, but Abdullah bin Abi was grinding his teeth. For some time he was the first to speak against the Muslims in his gatherings. He had opened a front of accusations against the Holy Prophet, but when he saw that his aim was not achieved in this way, as it happened, a strange plan came to his evil mind. Abdullah bin Abi, a Jewish believer, was actually very clever, a master of sly language and deceit. He along with a few of his like-minded people made a plan that we should outwardly declare Islam and join the companions of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of God be upon him, but inwardly keep cutting the roots of Islam, the Muslims. After finding out the secret, he kept telling it to the infidels. Abdullah bin Abi, a Jewish believer, was actually very cunning, a master of sly language and deceit. He along with a few of his like-minded people made a plan that we should declare Islam outwardly and join the companions of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, but inwardly keep cutting the roots of Islam, the Muslims. After finding out the secret, they kept telling it to the infidels. I continued to divide and this process continued from generation to generation. So Abdullah bin Abi announced to convert to Islam. Along with him several hundred Jews also converted to Islam outwardly, but inwardly all of them were staunch disbelievers. He caused severe harm to the Muslims on different occasions. Such people are called hypocrites in the Quran, Hadith, and Sharia. The Holy Quran has promised the hypocrites that they will be thrown into the lowest and most dangerous part of hell. Abdullah bin Abi was the leader of these hypocrites. He first betrayed the Muslims on the occasion of Ghazwa Uhud. On the occasion of the Battle of Uhud, there were 1,000 men in the Islamic army, including 300 companions of Abdullah bin Abi. Abdullah bin Abi stayed with the Muslims for some time outside Medina, but then he returned with 300 of his companions saying that my advice was to stay and fight within the limits of Medina. Why did you not follow my advice? He also declared that it was suicide, not fighting, and he and his colleagues tried to prevent even sincere Muslims from participating in the war. In the Battle of the Trench, while the Quraysh of Mecca and other Arab tribes besieged Medina, Abdullah bin Abi and his hypocrite companions tried their best to weaken the defenses of Medina. The companions and the Holy Prophet himself were guarding the trenches in severe cold and starvation, while the hypocrites were having fun in their homes. Their only task was to spread mischief and. Then he came to Trang and said, "By Allah, as soon as we reach Medina, we will expel these disgraced emigrants from Medina." This matter reached the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, through a young companion, Zayd bin Arqam. He summoned Abdullah bin Abi, and he took false oaths while showing his sarcastic language. "I did not say anything like that. This child must have misunderstood." The army of Muslims had not yet returned to Medina when Allah revealed Surah Al-Munafiqun and opened the money of Abdullah bin Abi, and he had to suffer a degree of humiliation. The most heinous crime of Abdullah bin Abi was that he defamed Hazrat al-Mu'minin Aisha Siddiqa, who was the most beloved wife of the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace. But slandered. Due to this incident, the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, al-Mu'minin and all the Muslims were shocked. Finally, Allah revealed the purity of al-Mu'minin and the conspiracy of Abdullah bin Abi by revealing the verses of Ruku 2 and 3 of Surah Al-Nur. According to the law stated in this case, Abdullah bin Abi was given 80 lashes as a punishment for accusing a pious Muslim woman, besides the painful punishment of the hereafter. After seeing continuous failure in their plots, the hypocrites planned to kill the Holy Prophet himself. On the occasion of the Battle of Tabuk, the majority of the hypocrites remained in Medina, but some of the hypocrites went with the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. After finding it, attacked the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. On the way back from the Battle of Tabuk, the Muslims were passing through a narrow gorge of a mountain one by one. The hypocrite sat in ambush there. He attacked the Prophet, peace and blessings of God be upon him. But at that time some companions reached there, they killed the hypocrites and chased them away. The Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, had told one of his companions Hazrat Huzaifa bin al-Yaman the names of all the hypocrites who had joined the ranks of the Muslims. That is why Hazrat Huzaifa is called Rasulullah Razdar. Because of his worst actions, Abdullah bin Abi had become humiliated in the world, everyone hated him, yet he was not ready to change himself. He knew that Islam is the true religion, but from the very first day he considered the Holy Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, to be his opponent. Later, many of his hypocritical companions repented of their actions and became true Muslims, but he died in the state of disbelief. His son was a true and sincere companion. Upon his request, the Holy Prophet, Pbuh, forgot all the black deeds of Abdullah bin Abi and wrapped him in his shroud and also led the funeral prayer. On this occasion, Allah Ta'ala recited the verse of Surah Al-Tawbah. You will never lead the funeral prayer of any of these hypocrites. By revealing this verse, the Holy Prophet forbade it for the future. Abdullah bin Abi was the first black snake to grow in the sleeve of the Muslim Ummah. He made such dangerous plans to destroy the Muslims that if it were not for the special help of Allah and the revelation of revelation, the Muslims would have fought among themselves. He would have died and Islam would have become nameless in a few years. Abdullah bin Abi's group of like-minded Jews continued to plot against the Muslims even after his death. He left countless snakes up his sleeve in the ranks of Muslims in the following centuries, some of which we will mention in the next video.